Now it's on. I wonder how long that's been off.
I never clicked it down. I really hope.
We'll find out together.
Do I usually what? The
Hold it?
microphone? Yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to what?
I don't know. Some people are like, yeah, I usually just kind of hold it here like that. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, it's up to you. However you feel comfortable. Here. There we go. There we go. Say your first and last name for the camera.
Stage name or like my government name? Kenny Lee. Kenny Lee.
What's your stage name?
That is my stage
Oh,
name.
what's your government name?
Okay. Kendrick Harris.
Oh.
Lee is my middle name.
Oh.
Yeah, just over.
I think that's fine.
Yeah. We're good.
I know I talked a lot last night about how much I hate stage names.
You're very. I hate people who have stage names, and I was like, we all have stage names.
But your name's not like Kenny, so funny. He cracked me up, damn straight. Like, it's not like that's your stage name.
I'm going to change it to Kenny Sells Tickets, and just so I can trick all
Dude,
the clubs.
Kenny Sells Tickets, that would be funny.
All the clubs. This guy's last name is Sells Tickets. He's got to be good.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming up is Kenny has T-shirts for sale. Whoa.
Oh, that is hilarious.
Well, hey, this is Kenny. We met yesterday on a show, and then you slept in my hotel room.
I did sleep. Okay. Well, there's more to it.
No?
Not really.
Beginning and
really,
end of the conversation.
Really not much more to it than that, honestly. I was just like, do you have 2 beds in there? And he goes, yeah. And I go, could I have one? I'll pay you. He goes, yeah. I literally telling this to my friend, and she goes, what's his last name? And I go, I don't know if it's his real name or his stage name.
Stage name.
So I couldn't actually tell you that. So.
No, it's my legal first and last name. I want employers to be able to find me doing crowd work.
Comedian destroys lady for no reason. This is the guy I want to hire. Yeah.
Comedian says N-word on stage, question mark? The N-word is negativity. Because we're all about positivity here. Dude, we met yesterday. We did a good show. Jeffrey Asmus. Osmus here at the Blue Whale Comedy Festival. We got our matching hats. I'm dressed in a way that it looks like I'm producing the festival. I'm just now realizing I look like I do the accounting for the festival.
You're wearing the lanyard right now too, so it's
because I want people to know when they go, "What are these two fucking bozos doing in the corner?" No, I'm a performer. Please, no. I'm the talent. This isn't really sad and depressing.
Dude, the badge flash is the best part of being like, I'm just, excuse me. Yeah.
Actually, I'm allowed back here. Thank you very much.
You're in like the women's restroom. It's like, no. I'm a performer. So
dude, when we were at the venue yesterday, one of the gals took Jeffrey back to the green room.
Yeah.
And I started following her. Because I'm like, oh, the green room, where the comedians go for the show. And I just wanted somewhere to put my backpack full of stuff. And before we got to the door of the green room, she's like, no. And stopped me from going in. And I was like, oh, I was just going to put my bag in there. And she's like, no, it's kind of a small green room. Sorry. I was like, oh, okay. And then I left. And then later, the older guy, Michael, found me. And he's like, do you want to see the green room? And I go, yeah. And as he's taking me back there, I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to be back here. He's like, who said you're not supposed to be back here? And then that's when I saw you. But yeah, I was told, no, thank you.
No.
And I wasn't sure if that was just that lady being weird or if Jeff on the way to the green room was like, do not let this guy in here, for the love of God.
This guy who looks like he works here, get him out of here. Get him out.
How long were you hanging out in the green room before I showed up?
Not even messing with you. Because like I went to go try to check in. They weren't there.
That's right.
Came straight to the venue. They wanted us 45 minutes early. I didn't even get there until like 30 minutes ahead because of everything.
I got there an hour early, and everyone was like, we're not ready for you yet. I'm like, I thought I was supposed to be here.
They literally say on the thing, we would like you to be here 45 minutes before. And I'm like, everyone says that, and most comedians don't get there until like 25 minutes before.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Anyway, I pull up at 5:30. I'm like, yo, I need to get my badge. I promise you, I'm on this show.
I swear to God, you have to believe me.
Do I have any proof other than like me saying this right now? Not really, but I'm on this show. I'm like, okay, is there like a green room? I asked them once they get my badge and everything. And they're like, yeah. And they took me to the upstairs. where all the comedians were hanging
Uh-huh.
out. And I was like, this doesn't really seem like a green room. And I was like the only dude up there, and I was like on my phone.
The green room's in the back, in a
Yeah.
hallway, behind a stairwell.
Pretty
like,
hidden. And I was like,
yeah, it's tucked away.
I was like upstairs, and I was like, this just doesn't seem like a green room. I walk back downstairs, and then the guy comes and gets me again. He goes, hey, Kenny, you ready to see the green room? And I go, I thought this was the green room. You told me this was. I thought you were saying it was. And then I went back there. So I was only probably there maybe oh, there's the guy right there. That's the guy that took me back. Actually,
That's the guy.
That's actually him. Yeah, I was probably only there like 5 minutes before, like enough time for me to be like, hey, Jeffrey, like, what's up, man?
Uh-huh.
And then you guys walked in. And I was like, well, this is going to be me and Jeffrey's time. So maybe you guys should just wait. You know,
Maybe you guys should actually back off.
You'll get your moment, yeah.
Getting in the green room with the headliner is everyone's opportunity to start saying clubs and shows around the country to go like, and then that, and so you know what I'm talking about. Have you heard of Zanies? And then he goes, I have heard of Zanies. And you're like, good, I'm on your level.
Yeah,
that's
there
correct.
We've both done Zanies.
Uh-huh.
Nice. Like we were talking about Arkansas, and I was like, yeah, I just did Arkansas. And he goes, oh, nice, the Grove. And I go, we're bonded now.
Yeah,
You know?
we're together now.
We touched
now
the
you have to
same
let me
stage.
open for you on the road.
You have just signed a verbal contract that you can never take away from me.
It was funny because you and the other guy, Trevor,
Mhm.
you guys were talking about stuff and like, oh, Looney been in Arkansas, and oh, I did this in New York, and he was talking about all about it, and he's like, Russell, where are you from? And I'm like, oh, Colorado. And my club, Looney's, he was like, I haven't done Looney's. That sounds fun though. And then the only other clubs we could talk about in Colorado are places that, hello,
What's
yeah,
up?
take a picture of me.
It's
we
live.
look good. We
Yeah.
have the hats on.
The hats are on.
This looks good. No, we have to look casual. Look
Yeah,
at the
I'm
camera.
looking at
Look
the camera.
like we don't know this is happening at all.
Who's recording? Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, so you're doing the comedy fort I saw in Fort Collins. He's like, yeah, have you done that? I'm like, no. You go, oh, okay. Like, yeah, the fort hasn't booked me yet. So
They're on the way. They're on the
we don't
emails
really
are-
have any way. We don't have anything to talk about there. What else? What else?
The whole time you're like, I'm going to jump in eventually. It's like,
One of these days they're going to reference something that I can also talk about.
it was kind of crazy that you said Colorado Springs and Jeffrey immediately had like all this knowledge of it.
Yeah, he knew. He's like, yeah, Looney's is like the old road dog place.
And I'm like,
It's like famous for road comics. I'm like, that's true. It's for guys on the way up and guys on the way down. That's who Looney's books.
One of the two.
No one send this to Eric.
I
Don't
was
tell.
wondering, I was like, can you say that?
I can say it. Just don't tell the owner that I said it, everybody. Keep it between us. It's for guys on the way up and guys on the way down. Actually, I'm sure he would agree with that. I don't think he has any airs of like, no, these are the hottest talents I can get.
He's watching you like, oh, Russell, you figured us out, haven't you?
Yeah.
You got us.
Looney's is a special place. I told Jeff, but great club, but until pre-COVID did not have a website.
Really?
Did I tell you this?
Yeah.
It was like Looney's CC for Comedy Corner, looneycc.wix.com. And I was like, oh, you're not even paying for a domain name. So he's getting better.
What's a domain name? Like,
What's a domain?
like, literally, that's what they're
It's
thinking.
$15 a month. You can't front that. I'll pay for the domain.
God. But I get to choose the name. Like, if you could choose the name of the website, like, you pay for the, like, what would it be? Would it still be?
Looney's is a good name, but here's the thing: is Looney's, the way they spell Looney's is L-O-O-N-E-E-S. So everyone misspells it when they're like, yeah, I'm going to be at Looney's Comedy Club. They do I-E or they
Yeah.
do
Y.
L-O-O-N-E-Y-S.
Yeah.
It's spelled a specific way, and every headliner misspells the name of the club because it's spelled like wrong to be silly.
Yeah.
So that would be the only thing I would fix is fix the spelling so that people actually get it right every once in a while. It's not good for the SEO.
I'm thinking I would change it to Looney's Too Funny or Looney's Too Nice or something like, you know what I mean? Got to put a 2 in there.
Looney's.
Looney's.
Why do you have to put a 2 in it? It's
Yeah,
not the
I don't know.
second
That's
one.
dude, like the first rule of comedy, you got to add
Sorry.
something to your name.
Looney's too damn funny comedian. Atlanta, Georgia.
.com. Like, very good.
That's not a bad idea.
Not
That's all.
bad.
Those push tickets.
Oh, my God.
That sells tickets.
What's the website name? Oh, my God. Let me just go.
If you had more of an official stage name, do you have? Well, you already said Kenny sells tickets. That's pretty good.
No, the Kenny sells tickets.
That's a pretty good stage
I
name.
might change my Facebook name for a week just to that.
I might name this episode
Kenny sells
Kenny sells tickets.
Misspell sells like one L or something
Yeah,
like that.
it's CELLS.
It's so confusing now. It's like, what does he do? I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
got to do like leet speak, where it's like you put a 4 in there, a $sign. Yeah, sells has to be with a $sign.
Yeah.
Sells first S $sign, last S $sign.
Yes.
Tickets $sign. The I's an exclamation point.
I gotta change my name on Venmo to this or something. At least, at least.
Venmo.
My Venmo name it's trash. It's just my government name. I think I can do better. You know what I mean?
It could be funnier.
Yeah.
That's what people want when they're trying to pay you,
Yeah.
is a play on words.
Oh,
It always sucks when I'm trying to pay people for shows, and it's like, what's your name? Kenny? What's it? Kenny Lee. Cool. I can just look it up. Some
Easy.
people are like, yeah, it's my jokes are the bomb, apostrophe. And it's like, I couldn't have just. Sometimes you can just look somebody up. Like, you can look up Russell Keller on Venmo, and I'm probably one of the top
Probably gonna be
results.
one of the ones. Yeah.
But some people, it's like, no, this is my Xbox Live gamer tag.
Exactly. XX. I do jokes now. XX.
I never would have found that.
2024.
There's some comedians that I've never paid because I asked them, hey, what's your Venmo? They never get back to me. I can't find them on
Right,
Venmo.
right.
So I'm like, it's on you if you want the money. I reached out to you. I can't find you. So to the two specifically women
Oh, God.
who I have not paid, you can just respond to any of my messages and I will give you the money. You just have to tell me where to send it to.
Two specifically
Two
women.
specific women. I don't know why. Ladies don't respond to my DMs for a multitude of reasons, one of which is money.
I have money to give you. Are you leading with that? Like, that's kind of strange.
Yeah, they do the show, and I say, hey, thanks for doing the show. Send me your Venmo. In a group message, they don't respond. And then in a private message, I say, hey, didn't hear from you. Send me your Venmo whenever you can. Never respond.
I have a hot $16 to give you.
No, I pay good.
No,
damn
I
it.
believe
Okay.
you. I believe you.
Yeah, you besmirched me like that.
I know some guys, you'll do a show, and it's just like they'll pay. You know what I mean? And pay is pay. I don't care. I do free shows still, so it doesn't matter.
We're here.
You know what I mean? Like, literally, I paid to be here. So pay is pay. But I know one guy who will pay you, like by the percentage, like straight up, in terms of like, hey, I'm going to take X amount, and then everybody else on the show is going to split this. And so one time we didn't get a great crowd, and I remember him Venmoing us all $11.62 exactly. And
It is the percentage
It is
to the
exactly
dollar amount.
what
That's
we
to
want.
the cent. That's so funny. I like that.
It's
Like, hey, I produce the show. I get 50%, and between the four of you, you each get
yeah.
15 or something like that.
Yeah. And give him the pennies, dude. Like the pennies, that's
Yeah.
where it all. That's where you're really making
That's where
the
it
rich.
stacks
you know
up.
what I mean? Like that's what's really going.
If you're
So,
getting paid in the cents, that's how you know you've made it to the next level.
cents on the laugh.
Dude.
That's how I measure my success.
Speaking of being here unpaid, we were talking right before the show we did last night that we've spent money. I flew out here. You drove out here 4 hours, 5 hours to be here to do one unpaid 7-minute spot, which was originally told to us as 10 minutes, cut down to 7 minutes. And then we're like, yeah, I mean, it better be a great show because that's kind of a lot to put on. And then as soon as you walked on stage, immediately heckled.
Immediately heckled.
Year one,
All-
7-minute unpaid show, immediately heckled.
All I said was, "It's nice to be here, out of Texas." Boo.
Boo.
Okay, that's fine. A boo? That's all right. We're in Oklahoma. I get it. But then the guy goes on to go, Texas is pretty cool. And I go, oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I know. And then he goes, I mean, it sucks a little bit, though. And I was like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, this,
We don't have
we
rapport.
don't have this whole time. And I'm like, dude, I only get 7 minutes. Like, I literally, and the thing is, when you're doing 7 minutes, it's like I only have time to do hitters. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I don't have time to beat around
Your
the bush.
best ofs.
You know what I mean? So
And you kept saying that, too. You're like, sir, I have 7 minutes. And then he said something like 2 minutes into your set
And I was like,
again. And you're like, sir, 7 minutes.
7 minutes. 5 more minutes up here.
You can't say it on stage either where you're like 7 minutes unpaid. You can't. Sir, 7 minutes unpaid.
I paid to do this 7
you
minutes.
can't.
Just so
You
we're clear.
can't take this from me.
Please let me have this. It was good. It was
Still
fun.
went well.
It went well. Yeah, I think both of our sets
Once
went
we
well.
got over the hump.
When you think about the amount of money that you spend to do comedy for a combined 14 minutes, you're like, all right, it better be efficient. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It better be a pretty efficient amount of time. But it went well. It was cool.
went well.
It was a really cool thing. Yeah.
I rewatched my little recording on my phone. I'm like, that was a pretty good set.
Yeah.
And then watching the headliner Jeff just rip for 52 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like every sentence was funny.
Every single thing.
And then I rewatched my little tape and I'm like, oh no, there's 20 seconds without a laugh.
Like
I'm
literally.
actually bad at this. Just because he did an ungodly amount of laughs.
Insane.
I go, well, I'm actually bad.
No.
And I need to redo the whole way I think about stand-up.
I watched mine after watching Jeffrey. And I was just like, fun set. And this is after like people have gone up to me. This is after people have gone up to me and everything. And he's got a full setup. He's coming in. Yeah.
We are.
Jump in.
Do you want to poke your head in?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to say hi? Johnny, have a seat. I like your chef's pants.
Oh, thanks.
Very
This is
sick.
fun. How's this work? You're just recording right now here in the cafe.
Yeah, with Earth, Wind, and Fire playing right above,
good
so we
time.
can't use any of this. It'll get copyright struck right away.
No.
These are high-quality microphones. I would never. Look at that.
Very cool.
Very high quality. Thank you very much. What have you been up to? Oh.
Yep, this is it right now.
Is this the highlight of your day so far?
Yep, this is it. It's the beginning of the day. I just woke up a little bit ago and I drank a bunch of tea and now I'm gonna leave.
Oh. How was your? I was too sleepy. How was your 11:30 show last night?
It was good. It was wild. That's why I have a headache right now.
Tell me about it. He goes, it's insane yesterday.
You can go take a little nap.
I think so. Or maybe get some coffee or something like that.
Yeah.
Nap. Get some coffee.
I'm very impressed.
You're very impressed with
Is this recording or streaming?
this recording right now.
So you're gonna match the audio up later?
Yeah, do a little sync up in a pirated Adobe Premiere.
It's great though. It looks really like.
I know. I found a good spot. Not too shabby.
Impressed, yeah.
We were just walking around. It was either this or the parking lot of a Walmart. So
Yeah.
Good luck, guys.
Thanks,
Thanks, Johnny Pemberton, everybody.
Very cool. Oh my God, that was so
Star
cool.
of Fallout, the TV series.
I've seen him in movies. That was so cool.
He was in Bob's Burgers. I told him last night I liked one of his TikToks, and he said that's stupid. and then I was so uncomfortable, and then we just walked away. So that's nice. Hey, we're gonna put that in the tags for the episode. Johnny Pemberton Fallout, Bob's Burgers.
That's just the title of the episode. He's just here for the whole
Yeah,
time.
it's not gonna say featuring Kenny anymore. It's gonna say featuring Johnny Pemberton. Also, Kenny is here.
Kenny sells tickets is also here.
Kenny sells tickets. That was very nice. He was like, "Wow, this is very impressive." I'm like, "It's 2 microphones and my phone
I
on a
was wondering,
tripod."
I was like, huh. And Johnny was talking like a time traveler who just got here. Like literally.
So what's all this? And then the audio and the video? Yes, both.
You're gonna sync these two up? No, I'm actually not gonna do that.
No,
I
they're gonna
released the
be
video
they're gonna be
and the
playing
audio
at
sync.
completely different times. It's not gonna match.
It's a fun game where you're like trying to figure out where they were supposed to sync up.
And so
Yeah.
this is a picture, and it's a lot of pictures happening at once, and it keeps taking pictures. 30 pictures a second,
That is-
actually.
If you had to actually explain it to a time traveler, that is it. You're just like, oh man, like you seem.
He's a
very
time
impressed.
traveler.
Yeah, like this, I know what this is. So. And he's wearing the shut pants too, so I'm just like, no, there's a chance. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you just
His pants matched my shirt. We should have riffed on that.
definitely could have talked about
But-
it more. Yeah, he was very tired.
He came over to say hello. That
such-
was nice.
He's such a chill guy that I'm like, when he says like it was crazy in here yesterday, I'm wondering if he means like everybody was just laughing a good amount.
Uh-huh.
Like I wonder
Or if he
he's
was
like-
just overstimulated.
You know what I mean? Like.
It's like too many people tried to talk to me.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's what he meant, or if he was just like, no, it was crazy. Somebody came in with like a flamethrower.
Yeah.
it was insane.
They
Or-
were just shooting.
Yeah, you know, like
It was a really good show.
it was pretty wild show. Or if he was just like, yeah, dude, no, there was like, the room was filled and everyone was laughing at the same time, and that freaked me out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's fun. He's a fun guy.
I wish I had a third microphone for Johnny, star of Amazon Prime's Fallout. I don't know why I feel like if I say it enough, then people are going to go, oh, wow. All right.
Russell's doing some big things in Oklahoma
That's the biggest guess I've ever had. That's so funny. Well, that was nice. That was nice, I guess, redemption from me blowing it last night.
Do you think you remember? You should have brought it up.
So do you remember when you said that was stupid that I referenced your TikTok last night? He's got a TikTok where he just says, big chain. Whoa, heavy, big chain. And I'm like, hey, man, Johnny, Russell, I just want to say big chain, huge fan of the big chain video. And he goes, what? I go, the big chain? And he goes, oh, yeah, that's stupid. And I go, oh. All right. And then I cut my finger. Do you see the little cut there?
Yeah.
I cut for the camera.
Okay.
I cut my finger on the bathroom door here. There's like a metal. I went to grab the handle of the door, and then like a piece of metal poked out and cut my finger. So he went that stupid. I went, oh. I cut my hand on the bathroom door, and he's like, oh, yeah, you're bleeding. And I went, yeah. And he's like, you should get a napkin for that. And I went, uh-huh. And then we just kind of walked away. I've blown it every time I've talked to, other than Jeffrey last night, I feel like I've blown it most times. I've like anyone who's like someone I've seen on TV or something where I'm like, oh, they're pretty cool. I'll say hi every single time. I think I'm not that hard to talk to.
I don't know,
but
man.
then it's starting, breaking the like, hi, I'm Russell, doing that for the first time, blow it every time.
Exactly. Dude.
Who's the most famous person you've met in this journey of ours?
Comedy scene, comedy. I did a guest spot for Craig Robinson of The Office. The Pizza Hut commercial.
Yeah.
Hot Tub Time Machine. I have to list all of them. Give me 1 second.
And now we can do that, and now we can tag Hot Tub Time Machine.
Craig Robinson is mentioned in this episode with Johnny Pemberton and Kenny sells tickets.
Craig Robinson and Johnny Pemberton featuring Russell and Kenny. Kenny sells tickets.
No, so I met him. And it was cool because I just DM'd him on Instagram. I was like, hey, man, can I do a guest spot? He let me do a guest spot. He did like 8 or 9 shows. All of them are sold out at the Improv in Addison. So it was really cool. Biggest gig I've ever done to this day, technically. It was just a guest spot. And I go to the back to meet him and everything. And he's very like to himself. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know how to really talk to him because like I go in, he's playing games on his phone, like Bejeweled or something. Like I'm not even messing with you. And like, so I just
a single mom game.
Like literally, you know what I mean? Like, it's like this isn't a game where it's like.
Are you still playing Farmville?
You know,
I didn't know
it was definitely a game where I was like, you don't have friends on this game, so it's not like we can add each other and support each other's cops. It's not like that. It was a single player game.
You can gift me gems or whatever.
Something, you know what I mean? No, and like so I see him playing it, and I'm like, how do I start a conversation from this? And I just go, I have games on my phone, and he goes, that's cool.
Okay,
man. That's cool. like, and we chilled for a little bit. It was like the day.
That is like an autistic kid way to start a conversation. Like, do you have games on your phone? I have games on my phone.
I have games on my phone.
And then you just show him. There's a lovely autistic boy at my church who will just every time I talk to him, he just shows me his trophies on PlayStation or his recent gamer score, and he's like, check that out.
He's actually flexing on you the whole time. Just 100% at Mass Effect 3.
We'll talk about keep talking Craig Robinson. We're going to talk about Mass Effect for a long time.
So I was like, it was weird because he's the most famous person that I met, but he's actually so famous that like we're watching his shows that weekend were the same weekend as what's the awards for music?
Grammys?
Grammys. The Grammys were on. Right? Yeah, Grammys were on or something like that.
The Nick Teen Awards or whatever?
No. It was I want to say it was the Grammys. And it was so crazy because like we're watching it. I'm with his like his opener and his feature there. And he's like, hey man, I know who that is. Like, and, like, or I said that. I was like, oh, that's Tyler from Water or whatever that song. And he goes, yeah, she a cool girl, man. She cool. Like, when I'm saying stuff, I'm like, oh, I've seen her before. That's fun. He's like, I know her. I've met her. Like, and he did that with every celebrity that, like, walked by. Like, that was on stage. He's just like, yeah, he's cool, man.
Those
but like,
were his PlayStation trophies. Yeah. He's like, platinum. Did that, 100% of that.
I was thinking about, dude, I was with him on Tuesday. You know what I mean? I'm like, Usher? Yeah, I was with Usher last
Ty Dolla Sign?
Literally, I'm just like, oh, we're two different like things. Yeah, I just want to relate over the fact that we both have games on our phone and we don't play them together. You know what I mean? Like,
Single player adventures.
that's all. I was like, dude, we both are doing the same thing. Let's bond over a hitting thing.
That's so funny.
Cool guy.
Games on my phone.
You ever heard of Bejeweled?
Bejeweled?
Bejeweled 2 is out now.
Oh.
It's out.
Raid Shadow Legends? Have you ever listened to a podcast that got an advertisement for Raid Shadow Legends?
Can you put this on YouTube?
Yeah.
There's a chance that like, literally in the middle of that sentence a Raid Shadow.
Oh, I wish this got enough views to get. Well, it's gonna now.
No, after all the guests that have...
All the famous people.
I think...
I mean, technically, the most famous person I've opened for is probably, and I can't remember his name, is I told you, the magician, ventriloquist, comedian, because he has like millions of views on YouTube. I don't remember his name. I don't think anyone would go like, oh, I'm such a huge fan of him. It's just kind of like brain rot content, but technically he's the most famous. And
I don't remember his name.
I don't remember his name. He just stole the Amazing Jonathan right after the Amazing Jonathan died. He just stole his act and did the exact. He did one joke too that I'm like, where have I seen that? Like, he did one magic trick. And I'm like, I've seen that before. And I Googled and I was like, whatever it was, hidden banana arm sleeve magic trick or whatever. And the top result is like a 20 million view from America's Got Talent of some different Swedish guy doing that exact same trick. And we were talking in the green room, and I didn't bring up that he's clearly ripped off everything. He, apropos of nothing, went, yeah, I love comedy, and I love doing comedy clubs because, like, comedians don't care that, like, I'm stealing a bunch of stuff. And he was like, magicians get all weird out, like, oh, that's my trick, that's my trick, that's my trick. It's like there's only so many magic tricks to do, so who cares? And what I like about comics is, like, comics don't say anything about, like, they don't care if you steal stuff. And I was like, oh, so I think people do care. I think people do care if you steal stuff. And he's like, nah, who gives a shit? And he kept saying there's only so many magic tricks to do. I feel like people have been inventing new magic tricks since the dawn of time.
All the time.
I think the first thing someone did was like a cool sleight of hand with a rock or a pebble. And they're like, whoa, shit. And he was like, yeah, there's only so many magic tricks to do. I'm like, no, you're doing very specific routine. Like, yeah, there's only so much time of stand-up you can do before you start talking about Pop-Tarts. Everyone has a Pop-Tarts joke kind of thing, but everyone has a different take on it. He's like, no, there's 4 jokes, or there's 5 magic tricks. That's all of them.
That's all you can do.
And I think I told you, I said this to you when we were talking to Jeffrey, but saying how, like, the more credits a comic you have to say about the headliner, usually the worse they are. Like, it just should be like, you know who I am. Like, you bought tickets to see Craig Robinson. You know who Craig Robinson is. You can say, like, from The Office or whatever. But, like, you bought tickets to see him. You know what he's from. You only really have to do credits for people who are unknown. And this man made me say the name of his top 3 most viewed YouTube videos before I brought him. Like, ladies and gentlemen, you know him from white guy does magic in the ghetto, like that kind of thing, which is every magic video that gets 16 million views is like, what if a black guy ran in circles? Isn't that fun? Huh? It's like, I think we got it. I think we saw it. Yeah, this is the one. At a certain point, I'm pretty sure these are all like British guys who are being paid as actors to pretend to be from Harlem.
Listen, I need you to go to I'm going to show you a trick. I need you to run 4 yards that way and run right back here, laughing the whole time.
I need you to be what everyone expects you to be, and nothing more, nothing less.
This is the gig. This is why you're getting paid $11.62 for this. Do you have any like weird credits? Not weird credits, but ones that are like, this is actually a big deal. But
I mean, I won a comedy contest, and it was like a festival, but the festival itself was a contest. I won a a comedy festival contest in Atlanta. I think I was telling you about it. But it was
you won that one?
Yeah, so it was all black comics and me, and I won the thing, which was cool as the one white guy to win the whole thing. And then I was supposed to get a 30-minute special out of it, but I was like so new that I'm like, I have maybe 20, and all these other comics were like, no, you should do it, and then just find a way to fill the time. I was like, no, I can't. That doesn't feel like putting my, like, if it's going to be on, even if only 16 people are going to see this special I'm going to get, it's going to go on, like, XM radio or something like that. Like, I don't want to, if it's not going to be my best effort, I don't want to do it. I've seen and I've heard horror stories about comics who, like, got too big too soon. Not that was going to happen to me, but, like, you see them too big too soon, and then they deflate real quick because they can't stand up to the actual rigor. So I'm like, I'm not going to do it. But, yeah, I won a comedy contest festival in Atlanta. That felt good. I've done a couple don't tells. I don't know.
Have you done any film don't tells?
No.
Well, I was making sure. I was like, you got films out there?
No. I mean, they do. There's a couple Denver guys who have like filmed, like BK. Good to see BK come do the podcast. Alec Flynn, Hannah Jones, Sam Talent.
Sam Talent.
Yeah. Yeah. Sam, he's probably, I mean, now that he's done Joe Rogan, he's probably the most famous person I know. This is for us and all of you. I say I've opened for Sam Talent. Not true. Because I did an open mic once that Sam Talent closed. He closed the open mic, so I'm like, okay, so I opened for him. But also, I was booked to host for him, and no one told me. I just got a phone call from Sam Talent at like 8:05 p.m., and he's like, "Where are you?" And I go, "I'm putting my daughter to sleep. How are you, Sam? Nice to chat with you." Yeah, and it was a show in Manitou, Colorado, and I guess he asked for me to host for him. And he thought, well, clearly the booker will tell Russell. And the booker thought, well, clearly Sam's going to tell him, so no one told me. But Sam Talent requested for me to host for him, and I didn't get to do it but I'm like, if he requested for me to host for him, that means I'm just going to put I've hosted for Sam Talent. He did Joe Rogan, so I'll never get the chance to host for him again. He's too big for me now.
Yeah. That's fun. I mean, I've had a couple like things now. One competition I took. I was runner-up for funniest person in Dallas. It's like a month or two after I started, which is not a poor person in Dallas. I was very cool at the time.
Yeah, you keep telling me, you're like, yeah, I'm a year and a half in. I've headlined like a showcase at the Improv. I'm like, what? That's great. What is the Dallas scene?
Just so we're clear, I don't want to reflect on Dallas is very cool.
Okay.
There's a lot of tough competition. I'm just kidding. But
I'm just that good.
pretty good. No,
He's very good. He's very funny.
So I was running up in funniest stand-up in Dallas.
All right.
Right after, a few months later, there's this competition. It's called Funniest Person in the Day. Now, there's comics all over the state of Texas that apply to this thing, okay? But the name of the competition is Funniest Person in the Day. I won that competition. Good payoff, like the biggest payoff for a comedy competition.
Sure.
Pretty big deal. However, when I go on stage, people are like, hey, do you have anything that you want me to say? When they go up there and they say, hey, this guy won Funniest Person in the Day job, the crowd laughs. Now, wait a freaking second. It took a lot.
That was actually a big deal.
It was a very big deal. Like, you guys don't know. And now they're changing the name of the competition, the funniest person in Texas. So the person that, like, the booker for the whole show, he told us to go from now on, you can actually just say funniest person in Texas. And I was like, that's not what it's called.
Yeah, it's like my high school changed names, and my community college changed names after I graduated. So do I say I graduated from Pikes Peak Community College, or do I say Colorado State College? Because that's what it's called now, but it wasn't called that when I graduated from it. Yeah. So yeah, you didn't win funniest person in Texas. You won funniest guy with a day job, which I like more, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Yes, I like it. I'm like, it makes it sound like a joke, but it is kind of weird whenever they're like, hey, this guy's going to close out the show. We're really putting trust in it. Yeah. One funniest person with a day job. It's like, oh, this guy has a day job. Oh. Yeah.
He's relatable. Also, there's like, like Shane Gillis lives in Texas. So you're like, I won that contest. Like, nah, let's chill.
No way. Everyone was there now. So.
That's so funny. Our contest, our funniest person in Colorado, is called the New Faces contest. Last year I made it to the semifinal round. Did not make it to the final round. Made it to the semifinal round, lost to the guy who eventually won the thing, so I'm not too upset about it. This year did not make it past the first round. Hurt my feelings deeply. I got kicked in the nuts right away. To not even make it past the first round. The first time I did it, I was like, well, I'm not even going to make it to out of the first round, so who cares? And then I had the set of my life. I've never had a better set than that night. And so this year, I'm like, well, clearly I'm going to and then I was confident, which is my Achilles heel. It's my kryptonite is having confidence. My best sets come when I'm a little bit scared. Exactly. When I'm like, oh, I'm going to show these amateurs how it's done. That was literally, I told you, I just bombed the last show I was on before this. Yeah. I was literally like, it was going okay. It was an okay show. And it was like a lot of new guys who were like a year in doing 5-minute sets. And I was like, all right. About to go show these amateurs how it's done, and then I ate the fat. I did 12 minutes, and I think it was silent for 11 minutes. I ate it so hard, and I even did the night before. I had a set where I was throwing in just new stuff out of nowhere that I'd never tried before. I killed. I never say I'm crushing. The night before, crushing. That night, it's one of the worst sets I've had since I've been good at stand-up, which is an important distinction. Yeah, and so I came into last night going I might ruin this show for everyone. And I think it went pretty good. All things considered, not too shabby. No one heckled me right off the bat.
No, which is good. Maybe from now on, I don't think I'll ever mention the state that I'm from. No. I think I'll just go in and go, hey, I'm not from here, and just see if they do all that.
Well, I think it's just because we're in Oklahoma, and I don't know anything about football, but it seemed everyone mentioned there's football rivalry and shit. Whereas I don't think anyone cares about Colorado. In terms of I could be I'm from Colorado, no one's gonna go boo. It's pretty.
Oh, weed's legal there.
Yeah, it's pretty middle of the road. It's not. It's smaller states. They have college football rivalries that mean a lot to them, and big states like Texas or California or Texas or California or New York, they hate all of the smaller states no matter where you're from. Colorado's right in the middle, where it's big enough that there's no cool rivalry. Idaho and Iowa hate each other, but there's also it's not big enough to where people are oh, everyone from California is ruining this country. It's kind of no one really cares about Colorado. It's right in the middle. It's purple. It's not even a red or blue state. It's right in the middle. It's a good place. No one cares about it. But a good kind.
Then the winter time comes around, everyone's we gotta get to Colorado immediately. Hit these slopes.
It's not no one cares Delaware. No. I recently, and I don't mean this as a bit, I mean this genuinely, I was what state is Delaware in? I was trying to think of this. I'm what state is what's Delaware the capital of? And then I had to remember, oh, that's a whole state on its own. That's a place. Rhode Island, you at least remember because it's the smallest state. I couldn't tell you one fact about Delaware.
I can tell you which part of the map it's on, to be honest. I can tell you which map it's on, to be honest. But yeah, it's very...
Where is that in Europe? Where the hell is that? That sounds Swedish to me.
I Puerto Rico is technically yeah. You know what I mean? I'm Delaware is kind of like that too. People can be from there.
But it's not real?
Yeah, you know what I mean? 4 of your people are from Delaware. You say, oh, we got mentioned. Oh, these are the dog in Delaware.
No, there is a weird, almost all of the viewership is people from Colorado. But there is one guy in the UK who listens to this, and I don't know how he found this podcast. I don't know who he is. Please reach out to me. But there's one guy I always get like on the analytics. It's like, where's this from? 99% United States, 99% of that is Colorado. And there's 1% that it just shows a little British flag. I'm like, who is this guy who's listening to this?
But it's like some guy who's very niche. He's like in a coffee shop. I'm like, yeah, listen to this smaller podcast.
Listen to the Bubble Boy podcast. That's this is the Bubble Boy podcast.
Which I didn't know. I have not asked you any questions.
Why would you? It's Bubble Boy both because about my naivete as a boy who lived in a bubble, but also usually there's like a soda. Because I live next to a soda shop, so I'll buy like a weird indie soda that you've never heard before, and then we drink it because all the comics bully me because I don't drink. So I'm like, no, you have to come into my territory, bitch. This is my home turf. You're going to drink soda with me.
Try the spicy jalapeno soda.
But we don't, there's not, I didn't do the effort. So we're missing what are you drinking? And we'll just call that the gimmick.
Oh, man. Actually, not gonna lie to you, I don't need it. No,
Most of the comics hate the sodas I get anyways. What is it?
it's like a beet juice, which is different because I was like, I don't like beets, but like I feel like I need to buy something. I don't want coffee.
You asked for something. You said, what do you have that's like, you said like fruit adjacent or something weird.
Really specific? I specifically said, what are your fruit-based beverages?
Yeah, like a robot.
I was like, oh, that does sound.
You said that like an alien who's trying to pretend to be human. Like, do you have any fruit-based beverages?
I realized how dumb I sounded when he goes, oh, you mean like a juice? And I go, yeah, like. And I go, oh yeah, like your juice. And then he proceeded to tell me the juices. He said we have this beet juice, which has like carrot and like celery, and lemon and ginger. And then we have like this kale-based juice with lime and two other things. And then orange juice. And I go, what's in orange juice? He just goes, it's just orange juice. Oh, okay.
He set you up for failure. He did like the rule of 3 for juices, where he's like, name a juice, list ingredients. Name a juice, list ingredients. Name a juice, and you went, and now you're gonna list the ingredients.
Now you're supposed to do the other part.
He duped your ass. He duped.
Like when he did orange juice, I just nodded like, go on.
Continue. The hint of celery, something in there.
He surprises in the orange juice.
Do you have a fruit-based beverage? You mean juice?
Oh, you mean juice? Yeah.
This would be the dumbest man alive. Do you mean juice?
I acted like I'd never heard of juice before. He's like, no. What is? No. Oh.
Walk me through that.
Google juice.
Even when you said, you're like, and then he started explaining the juices to me. And like he's like, so you take an apple, okay, and then you squeeze that real hard. You squeeze that as hard as you can. Like he literally walked you through the process. He's like, clearly, you're from Ethiopia or some place where you drink creek water or whatever you can get your hands on. So let me walk you through the process.
Fruit-based beverages do you have? Oh, no. Like, I hope someone else walks in and they say the same thing. It's like, okay, so there's like something going on.
If next time I order a coffee, I'm like, hey, do you guys have any bean-based beverages? Do you have anything that's kind of bean-related? Coffee? Tell that to me. Explain that to me. Oh, so you squeeze a bean.
Tell me on one of those. Like, oh, yeah. I don't want those coffees.
Someone told me once, they were doing some dumb, but someone told me once, they're like, would you drink coffee-flavored water? And I'm like, no, that sounds disgusting. And they're like, that's what coffee is. Coffee is coffee-flavored water. I'm like, I really wanted to, there's a while where, before I did stand up, I was like 15, 16, so I had this bit that I would do to people about like, I want to sell, coffee is just roasted beans that you grind up and put water through. What other beans are out there that we're not like green, pinto? Like, let's roast some beans, grind them up. And no one thought it was particularly funny. It's not that particularly funny, but every new person I ran up to, I'm like, have I got something that's going to knock your goddamn socks off? Thinking about beans. List some. List beans, and I'll tell you about them. I still have not tried it. One of these days, when this podcast makes a bunch of money, I'm going to buy a roastery. I'm just going to start roasting pinto beans and see what green.
Black bean, whatever they use at Chipotle. You know what I mean? Yeah, just the Chipotle blend.
Let's just see what happens.
So
You stayed up in my hotel. Thank you. I don't know if I snored. You did not, that I could tell. Easy peasy.
we're tossing and turning.
Yeah, it took me. I was. There was. There's a part of me that's last night that like I'm getting ready for bed. You come in. You're doing your thing, whatever, and I'm laying there, and I was like, okay, seems cool. I mean, I don't know him, but he seems cool. I trust him enough to like let him be in my hotel room. I shouldn't sleep under the sheets. I should sleep above the sheets. In case he tries to choke me to death in the middle of the night, I don't want my legs kind of contained. I need to be above, but I don't want him to just like see me in my boxers. So that's like, I don't want him to think I'm trying to sleep with him either. I'm not trying to put any vibes out there. But what if he would I rather put a weird vibe out there or would I rather defend myself? Like, I was like, I don't know why.
Do both.
It's those like late night, I'm in a hotel room, I'm in a city I've never been in, there's a man I barely know, and I'm like, what if this strange man tries to take my life tonight? What if this is the moment? What if you've just been tricking me all along? I almost did the like girl thing where I texted my wife of like, hey, here's his Instagram account. Here's what he told me his name is, like, in case he shakes my life.
I did do that to my friend, just so we're clear. I was like, I am going to this hotel.
We were both scared.
This guy, literally, I was scared, and then literally
You saw I was dressed yesterday. I had nothing.
I walk in, and you like, shirtless, right? And I just go, like, what's up, man? You go back to lay down, and I go, do you promise not to kill me in my sleep? And then I see your Star Wars tattoo, and I go, I'm safe. You're good.
Nothing's ever bad has ever happened.
Everybody knows no assassin has ever had a Star Wars.
No, it's too distinct.
Way too distinct. You know?
If you ever to get away, you could like go like, oh well, he has one specific tattoo.
Did have the mark of the Empire on his arm.
I think about that, like those guys who go on chat roulette and jerk off. I'm like, I wonder if any of them have like really distinctive tattoos to where someone's clicking through and like, Dave? Oh, I know that tat. I know that anywhere. You have the Jedi code on your ribs. I know who you are.
You know, like the new thing where they have like just the initials of that whole Anakin and Obi-Wan scene.
Yes, where they make a friendship bracelet with just the first letter. Yeah, that was good. You saw my Star Wars tattoo and it made you trust me.
I literally hung up the phone with my friends, like, no, I'm good.
And then you went to breakfast this morning, came back and saw me playing Mass Effect. And you went, yeah, so what are you doing over there? And I went, oh, I'm playing this game called Mass Effect. And you went, oh, I love Mass Effect. I was coming upstairs to play Mass Effect.
Upstairs to play Mass Effect on my Steam Deck. And I was like,
you thought I took your Steam Deck? You're like, why are you playing the game I was coming up to play?
Dare you?
I went through your bag and went, oh, games on his phone? Very cool. Yeah, dude, I instead of networking and meeting with other comedians and, making moves for the business, I thought, why don't I sit? Now the music's gotten so loud right now. It's probably going to pick up on the microphone. That's fine. I'm still standing by Elton John. Are you a big fan?
Elton John.
Just say I said, are you a fan?
Listen, I know. I didn't know this was Elton John.
Are you a fan? Elton John.
That's the man.
That's the name of the guy.
At one point in time.
Yeah, it's at the big climax of I'm Still Standing, so it's loud as hell. But yeah, I remember when Mass Effect first came out. I saw the trailer. I was watching E3 live coverage on what was it, not Q4, G4.
G4, yeah.
I was watching E3 coverage on G4, and they showed a trailer for this game called Mass Effect. I went, that looks like the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire goddamn life. And then a Fox News article came out about it that was like, Xbox, more like Sexbox. This Mass Effect game lets you do full penetration. And so my parents wouldn't let me get the game, and I wrote, however old I was when this game came out in 2007, I wrote a 4-page essay to my parents about why I should be allowed.
Did you turn your mic off?
No. I was just making sure it was on, to be honest. Yeah, we're good.
Now it's on. I wonder how long that's been off.
I never flicked it down. I really hope.
We'll find out together.
Dude, oh my, because there's no way for me to be able. I've been talking into this thing the whole time, and I just looked at the button just now because I've been spinning it.
At the very beginning, I tapped both our mics to make sure
they
they
were
were
on.
on. So at some point, it must have come off. But that's okay.
Okay, we'll see.
Hopefully, it's only. But you look
Maybe
like
it
you
picked up on
just
yours.
now. You just now were touching it.
I just started touching it, and I was like, I really hope that's on.
Okay, so I'm sure it's been a recent event. We'll find out.
We'll see. We will see. There's been some funny stuff that I really
Ever
hope.
since Johnny Pemberton, you've been.
That guy, man.
Now I do have to list him first.
Yeah, you really
on
do.
the
You
credits
really
he's
will
the only
need
one
to.
who's talked to a microphone.
That would be so bothersome.
I can't believe you've ruined this.
Oh God.
Here, let me pause this real quick.
Check.
Let me check.
Check.
All right.
It's
gonna be very funny. I'm gonna go back on the recording and find the exact moment where you turn it off.
Go ahead and just highlight an idiot move.
I'm gonna
from
zoom in and play it in slow motion a bunch of times.
idiot move from Kenny here. You know, real
It's
slow.
like 15 minutes. We recorded for like
You've been
40.
Talking, 40. You've been talking to yourself for
And
25 minutes.
for a while.
Yeah,
It's been
yeah.
me. Well, I've been carrying the conversation
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
so
yeah, exactly. Which is fair because I'm good. I'm nodding.
I'm nodding
In terms
along.
of video, my input is solid. you
Well,
know?
the most important thing of all is that we caught that your microphone was off right before we talked about Mass Effect.
This is what we needed.
This is the most important thing. But yeah, I wrote an essay to my parents saying, please, let me play Mass Effect. Here's the reasons why. One, the Fox News article, overblown. It's actually not full penetration. Something I wrote in it, I still have it somewhere. But I was like, you've let me watch worse. Or like, you let me watch James Bond movies. This is no worse than that.
No worse at all.
Yeah, so they got it for me. Finally got me Mass Effect, and yeah, now I've put hundreds and hundreds of hours. Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3. We talked about Andromeda. I didn't finish, but
Andromeda didn't need to happen, really, but yeah.
tell me about your introduction to Mass Effect, one of the greatest gaming franchises of all time.
I also watched it whenever they premiered it at E3 on G4. And I was like, that looks really cool. Space shooter, RPG, upgrades, everything like that. I wasn't even heavily into RPGs at the time. My mom dated a guy, because my mom wasn't going to buy me anything that was rated M for mature. My mom dated a guy for a few years. They moved in together and everything. So it's kind of like a stepdad. And he had Mass Effect.
Okay.
So he had Mass Effect. He eventually beat the game, or maybe he didn't beat it. He eventually, like, the new Xbox came out. 360 came out. And once the 360 came out, he was done with all of his Xbox games. He gave me all of them, which included Mass Effect. And I was just like, screw it. I'm not doing anything today. Let me put this in here. Started playing it. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then I found out that you could have relations. And I was like, oh.
With beautiful squid women.
With squid women.
The hottest of all.
And they have like the weird like squid dance club, you know
Yes.
what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yes.
You walk in there and there's like you can sit in the seat and she just dances with you.
Yes.
And I'm like, this is strange.
It is
you know?
like you sit in a seat and then they dance, but it's not like a lap dance. They're on the like much where this camera is.
Way over. Yeah.
They're just sitting on a table in front of you, kind of doing
Yeah.
this, and you're just sitting politely. And
Sitting
that
politely.
is the extent of it.
And the only two options when you're sitting politely are like literally you have two options. You could sit there and relax. Or no, you could leave or you could like look more
Lean
interested.
forward.
Yeah, and I'm like,
You can get
well, I
up
don't
and
wanna
leave,
seem
or
like
you
a
can just
creep.
go.
I don't want to seem like a creep.
Yeah, I want to look relaxed. Act like you've been here before, brother.
And that wasn't like there was only two options. You could leave or look like a creep, or you could just hold it there and look relaxed. But there was no in between. Like that was it.
That was it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm in love with Liara, that blue squid woman. I love her terribly.
I'll do whatever.
What was your class? What did you play through the series?
Engineer?
Engineer.
No. Well, now I've switched. Like in the current run that I'm doing, what is it? Soldier. It's like psionics and military.
Yeah. A Vanguard.
Vanguard. Yeah.
Vanguard is the best class.
With, like,
everyone knows it.
With like the background where it's like my whole family was murdered or whatever. Yeah, like,
You're the sole survivor.
Yeah, sole survivor.
I know exactly.
yeah.
For those of you that don't know, so Mass Effect was made because the developers wanted to make a Star Wars game, but didn't want to pay for a Star Wars like IP license, so they just made a Star Wars game.
Very cool.
So it's basically like there's bionics, which is the Force.
Yep.
But you can be combat, you can do the Force, or you can do tech stuff. Like you can be a hacker and have drones.
Gross.
But then you can do agreed. But then you can do any combination of those two. So you can be all combat, or you can be combat and the Force. You can be combat and tech. You can be tech and the Force. And they're all different classes. But Vanguard is my favorite one. It's the one I always play.
It's got to be the one.
Because that's the one where it's combat and bionics, the Force. But it's like it's all shotguns, and there's a charge ability, which is just like you warp across the field and punch someone in the face. That's my favorite. It's how I want if I had a superpower.
That's how it would go.
When people go like, oh, I would fly, I would be invisible, whatever. I go, do you know the warp ability from Mass Effect? That is what I would want my one superpower to be.
Please give me that power. It's so fun. Like, I did engineer when I first played, when I was, like, young.
Yeah. You didn't know any better.
Didn't know any better. I was just like, I was like, oh, you get to use this gun with this one? That's cool, you know? And then I was like, oh, like, once I got, like, teammates and, like, people in my thing, and I was like, oh, this guy has psionics. And I saw what he could do, and I was like, oh, I want to do that.
He can lift people, throw people around, rip their skin off.
And I'm, like, looking at because you can command them to do it, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm, like, commanding him to do stuff, and I'm like, I kind of wish I could do this.
You're just standing in the background and you're just controlling him. He's way cooler than I'll ever be. I love Caden.
I created a character, and my character's whole thing is controlling another character who's way cooler than my character. So I'm just like, oh my god. So now I made sure I made the right decision and everything. So.
That's so funny. Yeah, I am playing through on Insanity right now.
Right.
And I did I heard once that the hardest class to play is, it's not the engineer, because the engineer is all tech. I can't remember what it is, but it's where you do biotics and tech, but you have like no combat abilities. And so someone told me that's the hardest class to play through.
I was gonna say it's the worst class. Yeah.
So I'm like, well, that's what I played through Insanity on that.
And beat it?
Just to say that I have. And then I was like, okay, I did it. Now I'm going to play the game the way I want to, and I'm going to shoot people in the face with a shotgun.
Now
I want people to I don't want like a sniper where someone just dies, an infiltrator for those of you who need to know. I don't want someone just to like poof out of existence.
Right.
I want them to know that I took their life. I want to see the fear in their eyes. I want to see the life leave their
you want
body.
The people that would do levitate unnecessarily for a guy who was near death anyway, and you're just like, you pull out a pistol so you can just slowly that's so crazy.
Shoot him in the kneecap, in the heart.
That's insane. That is insane.
Yeah, my parents shouldn't have let me have this game.
You did not need this game. You did not need it. My mom bought me Grand Theft Auto. No, my dad bought me Grand Theft Auto, and I used to do a joke about this. My dad bought me Grand Theft Auto, but then when I was like Mass Effect, my mom was like, I don't know. And I was like, there's so much worse in Grand Theft Auto, dude. Like, there's so much worse in Grand Theft Auto. And this game, I literally have to, I'm reading 95% of the game, just so we're clear. Like, I have to, even with, like, the audio and everything, like, I'm still having to read everything.
Yeah.
And then my favorite part of the game is, like, when you're in a conversation, if you're not paying attention, you really seem like a real dick when you have to answer a question. Yeah. Because you can't go back.
Yeah, so you're just like,
whatever.
What were you telling me about your dead son? You kind of got to guess and answer.
We either need to blow up this country, this planet, or we kill everyone on the planet, but the planet survives. Whatever. And it's like, I was not paying attention.
This seems like there's huge stakes here, and I was really just blasted through these dialogue options.
Really trying to get through here.
Yeah, I've played through this game so many times that I do just like skip through all the dialogue. So I'm like, I know everything that you're gonna say, and then every once in a while, I'm like, well, I want to hear what Liara has to say about, making love to me or whatever.
Right,
and every once in a while, there's like a new piece of dialogue that I go like, oh man, I didn't know that was in here. How much of this game do I have no idea? Because I'm like, boring.
Boo.
I want to shoot a guy off a cliff.
Boo.
It kind of, I don't know, clicked is not the right word, but recently it kind of hit me of like shooting a man in the head. Sometime, or I was playing a Star Wars. I was playing Jedi Survivor.
Okay, very cool.
And instead of decapitating a stormtrooper, I used like force push, and I pushed him off a cliff.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's actually worse. Because at least like when you cut his head off, his life is over.
He's dead.
You push him off a tall cliff.
You hope he dies.
He has time to think about, like, I'm never going to see my wife again. I'm never going to see my child again. Like, you give them time to think about what they'll never do. Like, that's so much worse.
That's so terrible.
And I think about that every time I use Liara to lift someone, and then I charge them to knock them off the end of a spaceship. I'm like, he's going to fall for minutes. And just think about, like,
time.
I never going to get to tell my wife I love her. And sometimes it's like, in these games, you're the hero, and you're going to go fight crime or whatever. But sometimes you are just fighting, like, a security guard.
The Batman thing. Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
where it's like you're getting into – it's like he's not a bad guy. His job is to, like – as far as he knows, I think about this all the time when I watch like Die Hard or Lethal Weapon, and it's a rogue cop or Jason Bourne. Jason Bourne and all these like military guys are trying to get him. They're shooting him, and he kills all of them. I'm like, they literally are good guys.
They are all the good guys.
They are all, as far as they know, he's just a terrorist, and he's mowing them down. I'm like, oh, he is the bad guy.
Like killing them.
He's killing these people. They're never gonna. Their wife and child are now. They're a widow. They are fatherless. Because Jason Bourne had to get answers.
And then on top of that, they're like watching the news, and it's like Jason Bourne saves the day, and it's like
that guy killed my dad.
By the way, I'm like, I don't have a father anymore. You know what I mean? Like, that's so insane.
It's hard to like.
How'd your dad die? Jason Bourne killed him.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know the guy who got a Purple Heart?
Like,
I mean, the guy. Yeah, sure, he took down the CIA or whatever, but. He still killed my dad and my brother and two of my cousins.
So many people.
So many people. Yeah.
So many people.
Anyway,
that's how you play Mass Effect, huh?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I love games where there's this Harry Potter game. We should wrap up soon.
Okay.
There's a Harry Potter game that my wife was playing, and at the beginning of the game, there's horses in Harry Potter that you can only see if you seen a person die in front of you. So the beginning of the game. Your character doesn't see the horses, which means they've never seen a dead person before. And then you go from that to, like, there's bandits on the road who are, what's the word? They're poaching. They're poaching animals. And you just descend from the sky and evaporate them. You can just, for, like, oh, they killed a female, they killed a deer out of season.
Yeah.
They're poaching. You fly down from the sky, take his life.
Oh, my God.
Kill him, and then your character's just like, fine. I'm like, okay, at the beginning of the semester of school, you've never seen a dead body before, and now you're just taking lives for, like, petty crimes.
For nothing.
I love playing those games and killing a person for the first time and then acting out in real life the trauma of, like, oh, my God. Like,
what have I become? What am I?
These hands. What have these hands done?
I love a good game where, like Mass Effect, once again, I love a game where, like, you have dialogue options, right? But the fun thing about Mass Effect is the dialogue option will be like, hey, like the question will be, hey, do you like going outside? And the answers will be yes and no. And you'll say yes, and it'll be like, I do like going outside. You say no, and it's like, no, you idiot. I never want to go outside.
I'll kill you and your whole family.
I'm just like, whoa. I didn't
not
know
what I told you to say.
It just said no. Like,
Yes.
I love that so much.
It's always up is good, middle is neutral, down is bad. But sometimes it is just like, yeah, can you help me and can you help find my son? And sometimes in the game, the message of the game and the gameplay are not consistent. So
Not
it's
the
like,
same.
this is the end of the world. You have to get through this mission as soon as possible.
Right.
Lives are at stake. But then a gal will be like, can you help me find my cat? and you can. But if you're like, if I'm in the idea of the game of, like, life is at stake, the universe is at stake, I can't help you find your cat.
Right.
And then you'd be like, no. And then your character goes, I'm not going to help you find your stupid fucking cat. You're ugly, actually. you're ugly and you have small tits. It's like, wow, dude.
Nothing about your life is significant to me right now. Nothing
Actually,
at all.
I hope your kid's dead. It's like you could have just said, "I'm actually really busy right now."
That's all you have to say.
I'll put in like a recommendation for you with the or whatever. I don't know. I'll put in a tip for you.
I've reloaded a save because I was like, that was too harsh.
Yeah,
like,
you can't just say no. You have to be nasty. Did you play Baldur's Gate?
We could have done a whole other podcast episode
Baldur's
about
Gate.
this, dude. Like, we could have done a whole other podcast, dude.
There's only so many amazing RPGs to
Jesus.
talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when like Gale, the wizard companion, is trying to sleep with you.
Yeah.
You can either say yes, or you can say you're a stupid freak, and I hope you burn to death in a fire. You can't say not super interested or I like you as friends, and they had to patch it in later.
That you could give him a middle ground.
You could give him a middle
Yeah.
ground. It's not fair. He's like,
So
so
funny.
what do you want to do something tonight? And you could say, yes, I would love to do something with you. I love your rock hard abs.
Yeah.
Or I would rather rip my tongue out, staple it to my own butt. It's like you could just say like, I'm busy right now.
I would rather be decapitated with the Gate of Baldur than freaking do that with you right now. Like, literally, I know exactly what scene you're talking about because you're like dancing with or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like showing you magic. And he goes, man, I wish this night could go on longer. And the whole time I'm like, dude, I'm only here for the bonding, and then I'm going to get out of here. And he just looks so disappointed when you're like, I'm going to go to bed. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know this was going to be like that. I thought we were just two buddies hanging out. It's so fun.
Yeah.
RPGs are a good time.
There's at one point where it's like you go to bed and you wake up in the middle of the night because like your body's yearning for someone, but who for? And for me, it was Karlach or Gale. And I'm like, at what point were me and Gale ever? We just kind of had some polite conversations. Like, do you want to go suck Gale right now? I'm like, I didn't know. I didn't know I felt that way about Gale. Why is that an option?
Did Gail tell you guys to say that? Like, did Gail say something about like? Oh God, that is so fun.
Did Gale say something?
Did you guys hear something from Gail? Like,
There's a narrator. There's a fourth dimension. He could break the fourth wall.
I was dating a girl at the time when I was playing Baldur's Gate, and I was like, it's a fun game. You can have relations with other characters in the game. She goes, oh, and I go, yeah. So if things aren't working out here, I just go to the game.
I can have a fivesome.
Tomorrow. It would take nothing. It would take absolutely
There's
nothing.
some drow twins in Baldur's Gate.
And then and then at any point in time, she'd be like, oh, you're going to go talk to your virtual girlfriend on your game? And I'd be like, girlfriend? Like, did she say something? Like, how did you, like, why, how do you, what
Did she tell you?
Did she say that? Like,
I didn't know we were putting labels on this. Dude, I love that game. I love
that's fun.
the girls are all hot.
Yeah.
They're all. Who's your
Literally.
romance?
So I actually romanced Shadowheart just because I was like, I like
You
the
like a
challenge.
goth
Yeah,
girl?
you know what I mean? She was like, I hate everything. And I was like, F it, I hate everything too then. I don't know, man.
You and me both.
Whatever, I guess, you know. Karlach, everybody was going for Karlach. And I was just like, Karlach
I like
is great.
Karlach.
Yeah,
I like a Star Trek, like where it's like just a hot girl, a different color.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you're just blue,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Liara,
yeah.
or Karlach, which is like you're hot, but you're just red.
Right.
I like just a painted woman and a dommy mommy. She's a big muscle mommy.
Both.
Dude, I romanced Karlach, and then the last romance scene with Karlach, like I have like a big berserker.
Yeah.
And the last romance scene with her, it's not like you lie her down in bed. She picks you up, and your character is straddling her. So like my big berserker barbarian is straddling Karlach. She lays him down in bed, and then her hand goes down. It's like, am I getting finger blasted by Karlach? And that's how the scene ends. Is your character getting blasted by Karlach? Like, I wish she would have asked me first. If that was cool.
I didn't know any of this was that thing.
Yeah, it's like they programmed her to be like, well, she's so obviously a lesbian.
Easily,
that
yeah.
only women will romance
No
her.
dudes are going to go for her.
No. Yeah, she made me the sub. She bottomed me. I got bottomed by this lady.
She carries you.
Yeah, she carries you. She lays you down gently in bed and then blasts you.
The whole time, you're just like, I just slayed a demon.
My guy's 300 pounds. He's 6'6". What the hell?
I have slayed demons. And you are bridal carrying me to the bed right now.
She carried me past the threshold in more ways than one, brother.
Oh, God. Oh my God, I did not know. We could have talked about this for too long.
We
Yeah,
can
this-
only talk about so many niche, specific, nerdy things
of
per
course,
episode.
For sure.
Well, we're at an hour 10, and I'm sure with our little interruption,
We've covered
we've covered.
maybe.
Well, hey, you want to tell people to follow you, all that good stuff?
All right, I'm Kenny Lee. Maybe Kenny sells tickets. Maybe changing it to that
do
very
a
soon.
quick check for both.
I'm gonna look it up on Instagram if it's not taken. But other than that, you can follow me at Kenny Lee 270 on Instagram. Hold on, show off the shirt. Okay, this has
Is
nothing
that
to do
your
with my
shirt?
Instagram. It's not. It's not.
Okay.
No. You can follow me at Kenny Lee 270 on Instagram. Right now I'm a Dallas comic, all around Texas in the South right now, Arkansas, Oklahoma. Looking to branch out. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
That's it. Bubble Boy, juice, beet juice. That's the episode. Okay,
I didn't
bye.
even finish it.
I didn't even finish it.